Okay, so again, Mishnah Gimel, Shum Kesef, V'shava Kesef, V'fnei Beistin, V'al Pi Edim B'nei Chorim, B'nei Bris, V'hanashim B'chlal HaNezek. So the Mishnah tells us that the assessment of the damages, how much one is going to have to pay, meaning, and the Gemara goes on to explain that even talking about, you know, if you have sometimes damage that's done by two different, you know, ones against each other, meaning you have somebody's ox that damages somebody's property, but the ox gets damaged by the property. So they both really sort of owe each other. So there has to be an evaluation of, you know, what the damages are, and evaluation of the animal and figuring all that. All that has to be done. Then the Mishnah tells us V'shava Kesef, and also in terms of the value of the money. The Gemara explains this is talking about that if the person who does the damaging dies, and now the person the person whose stuff got damaged, now wants to come to collect from the estate, so they don't have they pay from the karka, they pay from the lands of the inheritance, which is called shava kesef, the value of kesef, but they don't have to pay from metaltalin, they don't have to pay from movable objects, because that's considered like money. And that's, you know, therefore the metaltalin of the heirs is not connected to the debts that were owed by the father, so it's only from the land. So that's the shava kesef. B'fnei beis, and it has to be these evaluations and the figuring out of how much money will have to be done in front of a real beis din. Can't just be three hedyotos. You don't just take three guys and sit down and say, okay, how much money does each of them owe each other? Which you can do sometimes in other halachas. You can take three kosher individuals and sit them down to be a beis din. In this case, you need a beis din of experts who are going to figure out exactly what it means. And you have to have edim, you have to have real witnesses who would be kosher for other things. They'd be kosher in regards to nezek as well. They have to be free men, you don't have slaves, and they have to be Jews, not non-Jews, in order to testify before the court. And v'anashim b'chlal nezek, women are included in damages, meaning in regards to all these halachas, both women's property, if it damages, I mean, if a woman owns an ox and goes out and damages, or her property gets damaged, in all these cases exactly equal to the men, the halacha is exactly the same. They're included within the rules. V'anizak v'hamazik b'tashlumin. The Mishnah tells us also the one who gets damaged and the one who does the damages, they contribute towards payment. You know, sometimes they both have to pay something. One example is, according to at least one opinion, is if you have damage where there's only chatzi nezek, meaning you have a case of your shore goes and gores another animal, and it's a tam, so it's not an animal that would be expected to gore. It's never done it before, or it hasn't done it 3 times. So in such a case, you have to pay half damages. According to the opinion that really you should have to pay full damages, but the Torah sort of gives us a break because, you know, you weren't expected to watch it so carefully. So according to that opinion, at least in this case, really sort of both the damager and the damagee end up putting part of the money in because, you know, the one who damaged has to pay half of the damages, and the one who got damaged, they only get part of their money back. So it's as if they are, you know, they are part of the damages. According to the other opinion, it really is talking about the case where there is a loss involved, even for the one who gets damaged, because he holds on to the carcass. It loses value between the time that the damage takes place and the time that that they go in front of the court. So there is a shared responsibility, the Mishnah is telling us, sometimes between the one who damages and the one who gets damaged.